Hi, my name is Avonlea Thalmann, and I'm part of the team Script Kitties, working on your hardware. And I'm just going to show some of the things that I did. This isn't the exact um, file that I used, but I don't have access to it anymore, so it's a little, well, very, very different. But it gets the job done for showing what I need to show. And these things aren't connected right now because I'd actually have to configure them, but I'm just going to be using numbers in here to do it. So the first thing I did was routers. I configured all of the routers, such as CS Internet Router, CS Core Router, CS Distribution Router, CS Distribution Router 2, and then all of the RS1 versions of those as well. And I gave them all fitting host names. So to give something a host name, you go in here, hit configure, host name. Let's just name this CS Internet Router. So that's how we did that. So the display name is still router 0, but the host name is that. So let's say I'm doing CS Internet Router, and this is the CS Internet Router. So I did mostly gigabit Ethernet 1 or 0 to 3. And so for the CS Internet Router, I did gigabit 0 out of 0. So a subnet is kind of like, you would mainly see it, I'll just like type it right here just to show you. So you'd have like your normal IP address. So let's just say the IP is 0000. And then you'd have /30 or /24, something like that. That's the subnet. And so the subnet for this one was /30, which means it's the normal IP address like this. And then it's 255.0 or 252. The gigabit Ethernet 01 is subnet 30. The gigabit 00 with the 0 at the end, where it's 255.0 is subnet 24. And it's the same for all of them. So like if you have different routers and different gigabits that have /30 or /24 or /28 or something, it's always the same. So you don't have to like refigure it out. If it's subnet 30, you already know that it's the last number is 252. So in the command line, I'm just gonna exit this really quick. So let's see, which ones do we have? We have 00. There's no IPv4 or subnet mask. So this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna show you how I get in. So you enable the command line, and then you do config. Oops. Config T, which brings you into the command line. You can also say configure terminal, but config T is just like the short version. Then you say interface gigabit Ethernet. We're gonna do 00 right now. Oops, what the heck? Valid interface type in number. Let's see, did I mess it? Oh, it's 000, not 00. So a trick that you can do is hit the up button and it'll bring you back to your previous command. So yeah. So now I'm in config interface mode. And while I'm doing this, I'm going to say no switch port, which means it's going to stay up. It's not going to switch things around on me. Hello? Sorry. Okay. Next we're going to do IP address. So to add the IP address, you just type that. And sometimes you can copy and paste, but sometimes you can't. So I'm just going to type it in normally. So we're going to do 16.34.34.2 and then space 255.255.255.0. So this is the subnet right here, and then this is the normal IP address. So then it did that, and I'm going to say no shutdown. And that says gigabit Ethernet 00 change state to up. So if we go back to here where it says configure, you can see that the IPv4 address and the subnet mask were changed to what I had put it into up here. And no shutdown just means it's going to stay up. So how there's, see this, how it was red before? Because I put an IP address in it, it connected. So that's, I guess I can do the rest of them. I'll just do like a couple more. So 0, let's see, 001, I think? Or it might be, hang on, let me check. 001, right, okay. We can do IP address, 155.74.10 and then 2. And then this one has a subnet of 30, so it's 255.255.252. When you enter it, you say no shutdown. And then this one's not up just because I haven't done no switch port, I think. So if no shutdown doesn't work, you can do no switch port. I don't know why no switch port isn't working. I think it's just because this isn't like an actual packet tracer like file. I just went into Sandbox and placed these things in there just to show what I was doing. But if you go back here, no, it's not gonna do it because I didn't change it to up. It'll have the, oh no. Wait, hang on. I just changed this one's IP address to something else. Oops, this was supposed to be this one's IP address, but that's okay because it's just Sandbox. It's still up anyways. I'm just showing like how to do it and what I did. That's all I did for the routers. I'll go over a couple of the things that I missed and that I'm going to come back to later. But we're going to move on to switches right now. The switches are a little bit different from end devices and routers in the sense that you have to go to the physical layer to configure them. So let's say I change the host name to switch 1, and then let's say I need to configure this and figure out what's connected to this port so that I can change it on here to match. So I'm going to go to the physical layer, home city, corporate office, over here. Control scroll, let's see, switch 1 right here, so it's the bottom one that goes up. If you go like this and you say inspect front, not that, inspect front, I don't know where it's showing it to me, it might be because I'm half in screen, but you can also see from over here. So source device switch 1, fast Ethernet 1 to server 0, so this is going to the server, and then down here this one must go to source port fast Ethernet 2 to gigabit Ethernet 01. Okay. So that means that this connected to this wire right here, is from going from right here, this Ethernet, to this Ethernet right here. It's already up, so I'm not going to care about that one. But this one, I think I'm going to look at the physical layer to see. So if we go to switch 0, we look at it. See, unless this is, let's see. Let's rename both of the actual names. Let's name this one switch 10, and then this one switch 12, just to make sure we're looking at the right switches. So then if we go back down here, yeah, switch 12 is the one that we want to be looking at. So switch 12, source device, fast Ethernet 1, that one goes to the server. So I was looking the wrong way. It's okay. Then, yeah, it's the same thing. So it starts at fast Ethernet 2, and then goes to gigabit Ethernet 001 on the router. So here it goes from this port all the way over to this port. So I'm going to go to the command line. So for this, you don't really put an IP address in here. You just have to figure out which port it goes into. So I need to configure now. I know I need to configure gigabit Ethernet 001. So I'm already in interface gigabit Ethernet 001. So I'm just going to do IP address. Let's see. Let's give it a subnet of... Let's give this one a subnet of 24, because why not? We'll just do the other one that we did before. 34, 34, 2, 255, oops, 255, 255, 0, no, shutdown. There we go, change state to up. And let's see what we have up here. And there we go, we just gotta wait a second for this to connect. Sometimes it takes a second just for it to get in there. So that's what I did for all of the switches. we did this to see, like, because it needs to be ensured that all devices are connected to each other and running smoothly. Um, and because if they're not running smoothly, things won't get sent, things won't connect to the Wi-Fi, the internet, and obviously your business needs to be connected to the internet. And I can place the internet actually up here. So here's the internet. I don't know if it'll let me do it without doing something. So I'll just take another copper straight through. Let's see. We'll put it in. I'll put it there. There. Now this is connected to the internet. And then so for the end devices, an end device is something like a PC or a server. So over here, down here, if you go to end devices, you can get laptops, servers, printers, phones, whatever you need. It's just a device that isn't, nothing is connected to it, so nothing's going into it. There's just stuff coming out of it. So nothing from the switch, or like there's nothing depending on the PC. The PC is only depending on the switch and the router and the internet. So if I go to the PC, which for your PCs, what we did was we configured the CSN devices, which was 6 PCs for the CS ones and then 6 PCs for the RS1. And we just assigned IP addresses. So if you go to config, you can either go to config or desktop, and you can go to command prompt. But I'm just going to do it in the physical interface, so fast Ethernet 0 IPv4. You can do this on the switches and the routers too, but I'm just going to do it on here just to do it differently than I did before. So let's say this is PC1. These don't have subnets, so I'm just going to say 172.16.0.19. We're just going to put that there, and then it automatically does that. Then let's see, for the server, we can do something similar. This one actually has a default gateway and stuff. IPv4, let's just give it 172.16.0.35, and then it automatically puts that there. So these are all already connected just because I placed them there. The actual real deal was much longer and harder to complete. But this is just like a simple rundown of things. A few things that we missed that we're going to come back later and fix, obviously, because we can't just leave y'all hanging. Interfacing of VLANs. So to create a VLAN, we created the VLANs necessary, but we didn't configure them fully. So to create one of those, you can go into the command line. Let's say exit this, exit interface mode, and then do !create, and then let's say I want to create VLAN 1. So then that's there. And if you say exit out of this, say show IP, not with a capital S, show IP interface brief, VLAN 1 unassigned. So this is what I just created just now. Gigabit Ethernet 00, these are the IP addresses that I just made, and notice how it says up, and then this one, which I didn't configure, says down. Because I configured them and put no shutdown, these ones are up now, and that's why they're connected to the switches. This VLAN, if I did configure it, it would go up, but we did not do that while we were there. And then building Ethernets together as LACP, Ether channels. So I tried this for one router. It was very difficult. I don't remember the exact commands because they were like a very long strand of intervals and stuff like that. And I just could not figure it out. I could not complete it. But next time we are going to come with extensive knowledge on how to do that. For trunking, you finished trunking 2 ports, but we were not able to do it on the rest. So for this, you would do something like, you'd put like trunking or trunk open, something like that, and then you'd choose the gigabit that you wanted to be the trunk. So you'd take 2 other ports and then have those things trunk into the other one. It's kind of hard to explain. But in short time, we will come back. We only did this for 2 ports on the CS internet router, and it needs to be done on all of the routers. So in short time, we'll be back to complete that. Thank you for hiring our company to come help. And if there's any other things that you think we might have missed besides the things we already told you that we missed, um, that would be great if you could let us know. Um, but yes, thank you for hiring our services, and please recommend us to other businesses. We might be a little miss a couple things, but we do it thoroughly, and the only reason we left it missed is because we didn't want to do it wrong. And then just ruin your system by doing it wrong. So next time when we come in with more extensive knowledge, we'll be sure to get it correct and complete. Um, Thank you.